Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Driving the Line. Our pal Jonathan Coachman, he is out today. He's traveling. He's doing golf. He's doing all kinds of activities. So your boy is in today for the coach in the driver's seat, but we're going to get the week started off right. We are wrapping up week 17 in the NFL tonight. Monday Night Football, Lions at 49ers. Had a thriller of a Sunday night football game last night. We got a lot to go over here, a lot of picks. We're going to get everybody right as we head into New Year's Eve, of course, which is tomorrow. Hope everybody's having a great holiday. Everybody's staying safe and enjoying your family. Now, of course, we got a great week planned here on DTL. Every day starting at 10 a.m. here, you got the daily show. We give you all the picks, all the winners. Also, of course, dropping early afternoon each weekday, we have DTL the podcast as well, where we hit on all kinds of topics, all right? Anything we couldn't get to on the regular daily show, we give you on DTL, the podcast. And, of course, we bring in our boy AB here with us as we get the week started. AB, how are you today? Everything going all right? Did you have a nice weekend?
Z-Man, fantastic, buddy. I'm doing good, man. Good morning to you. Good morning to the crew. Yeah, man, it's a good weekend. It feels like there's been an NFL game every day for like 47
Oh,
days
my
straight.
God. We had Monday last week, and then when week 16 ended, 36 hours later, week 17 starts, all right? So then you had Wednesday, and then you had Thursday, and then you had Saturday, and then Sunday, and then tonight. I mean, we're talking, I'm not great at math here, but that's a lot of football in a short amount of days, AB.
I know it's a lot of graphics to make. I'll tell you that it wears up on you. But no, man. The sad part is that we have what after tonight. Is there only one night game left? The Sunday night game? Correct?
Yeah, tonight's the Monday Night Football regular season finale.
Yeah,
and you don't get it next week. But then we do get Monday Night Football wild card round, right?
That's true.
They started that a few years ago, right? Where we got a Monday Night Football wild card game. I like that,
Oh, I do too. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got tonight,
I do too. Yeah.
And then just one more.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, like, not complaining at all because in 4 weeks we'll all be like, oh my God, where's the NFL? You know what I mean? So I want to make sure we weren't complaining about that. It's just
and by the way, AB, for everybody, we got a ton of NFL. Okay, great. Tonight, week 17 wraps with Lions and 49ers. And then tomorrow, college football playoff quarterfinal. We got one game. They're going to tease us a little bit. And then on Wednesday, we got 3 games on New Year's Day. How about that, AB? This is a great football week.
It is, man. It's fantastic. And, we've got some big spreads. And I've heard people, a little afraid of it, and totally so, rightfully get it. We had some big spreads in the NFL yesterday. There are teams that weren't afraid of it. They went and just crushed it. So, yeah, dude, great football week, as always. Great football week.
All right, before we bring in all of our pals here, AB, on a Monday, let's get to our crew play of the day, the Howie Schwab crew play of the day. Oh, look at him, so handsome there in his St. John's jersey. What are we going to be figuring out today? What's the crew going to be choosing?
Yeah, I'm fascinated to see their answer on this one, Z-Man. We got the Lions -3, 49ers +3. Over 50.5 or under 50.5. Polls in the chat. Vote now. We'll update as we always do at the end of the show. We got one bowl game today, too. I almost put it up here, but decided we just stick with the NFL, keep it simple. We got Iowa, Missouri, all right, here in Nashville.
Music City Bowl. That's right. Are you making your way down there? Let's go.
Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you this. If anybody's never seen the hotel that they stay in, okay, so it's sponsored by Gaylord Opryland, okay? That's the name of the company. And TransPerfect, whatever the hell they sell, okay? So they stay in this hotel. If you've never seen it, it's called the Opryland Hotel. It's like the Mall of America in Minnesota. There's 8 different mezzanines. There's a river that runs through this thing. Like, it's insanity. Like, if you're looking for something like wild, Google it. It's pretty interesting.
Now, I already told you from my ESPN Radio campus tour with College Football Tailgate, I love Nashville. It was my first time there. Broadway, I got after it, all right? I run that place now. You got to figure for the schools who are playing there today, and they get to spend a week in Nashville, they must have been all over Broadway Street the last few days, right? You would think.
Oh, yeah. A coach's nightmare. That's what it is. Because you look at it going, all right, fellas, be easy. Be easy, boys. Let's not make the news.
Yeah. So we got a lot going on this week. We're going to get you started right. Let's bring in our pals here so that we can get to the picks. Oh, look at these beautiful faces that have joined AB and myself on the screen here. Our pal, of course, is Rafael Esparza. How are you today, Rafael?
I'm doing good. It's a nice Monday. I remember when the Vegas Bowl first started, I used to do over-under how many college kids would get arrested in Las Vegas on the Strip when they used to come to the Las Vegas Bowl. Because the first one, four players got arrested on that weekend. So it was always fun to do the Vegas Bowl.
Also, of course, is our pal Charles. How are you this morning?
Oh, just great. Good morning, Zaslow, DTL crew. Yeah, it is crazy that tonight's the final Monday night football game for the season. Time truly has flown by. We were just doing futures, but excited to get it going.
Now, Sunday night football last night, AB, great game. I mean, lived up to the billing, because going into the game, it's a game with stakes, Commanders and Falcons, two rookie quarterbacks. Michael Penix Jr.'s first ever road start comes right down to the wire. And you know what? You could probably throw some blame there on Raheem Morris bungling the clock situation at the end of the fourth quarter. You got the kicker who's in there for coup, attempts a 54-yard field goal to win the game. These days in the NFL, it'd be a 54-yard field goal. That's not that big a deal, all right? To come up 6-7 yards short like he did, obviously, it's a backup kicker. You don't want to get on him too much. But Raheem Morris didn't do him any favors there, holding on to those timeouts.
No, he didn't. And that's where, if you're a head coach, like your guy that's in the headset, right? That's telling you, hey, challenge this, don't challenge this. 2 plays in advance, be thinking timeout, right? Like that's where that guy is so important. And 2 other things. First, Mark in the chat, hey, we're with you. Thoughts on your surgery, buddy? Let us know if we can do anything for you. Number 2. Michael Penix is not scared. Like we broke it down last night. This kid's a slinger, man. Like he's accurate. He can throw. They trust him. He's going to be a fun quarterback in this league, man. He's a very, very solid quarterback.
I'm pretty encouraged, Rafael, by what I saw from Michael Penix Jr. Now, let's not to go without mentioning he had several overthrows, including one which they ended up scoring on the 4th down, the next play to send the game to overtime, Kyle Pitts, but also in the 4th quarter, he had an overthrow up the sideline as well. But overall, AB is right. Michael Penix Jr. is certainly looking the part in just 2 games through.
Yeah, while I was out watching the game, I kept on telling myself, this is his second game. This is his first road game. He is a true rookie quarterback. Daniels is not a rookie quarterback. He's played the whole season. He's probably a veteran right now in people's eyes. But I think the moment was just a tad bit too much for this first road game for Penix. But boy, can he sling it? Wow. I kept on forgetting how quick he releases the ball when I used to watch him in Washington. But it was fun to see. He's going to be a fun quarterback.
And Charles, now the Commanders, after winning last night, they have a real chance. They're slotted number 6 overall now. They've jumped Green Bay in the NFC standings. And that's important because the difference between 6 and 7 is the difference between going on the road at the potential NFC West winner, which could be Los Angeles, or going on the road to Philadelphia in wildcard round.
I definitely think that the Cowboys game is going to be a main priority. Plus, there's a little revenge built into that. So I can definitely see them getting the victory there. But we know the Eagles will potentially beat they could have their own way. The Giants could give them a game also. But I think the Commanders will be totally focused on defeating the Cowboys and exacting a little revenge.
So we finish out week 17 tonight. Obviously, with Monday Night Football, we'll get you guys prepared. Lions, 49ers, what the winning plays are. So you know what? Let's get right after it. Let's get to our picks here. Let's see what we got today. AB, we start with you. You're getting right after the Music City Bowl. Go ahead.
I'm getting right after it. Look at beautiful Nissan Stadium down there right behind Broadway. We're going to take Iowa, Missouri over 40. That's exactly right. Look, this Iowa team, they're led by their defense, but they've scored points this year more than they probably have in the last 2 decades. All right. And I think that they'll score on Missouri because Missouri will give them up and Missouri will score points as well. It's a really nice day here. It's 9:10 in the morning. It's already 50 degrees, sunny. All right. It rained all weekend. It's finally opening up. The field will be a little wet, be a little soggy here, but the sun is out. It's a nice day. Good day to score some points. We're going to take the over 40 in that one. And then we're also going to go tonight. Okay. Take a look right here on the screen. We're going to go with Deebo Samuel over 4.5 receptions at minus 105. All right. Deebo's got some things that he needs to make up, and he needs to end this season properly. And I think that he starts by doing that tonight. I'm going to take him over 4.5 receptions.
AB, excellent job there. Let's move on over to Charles here. He's got some footy action for us. Go ahead, Charles.
EPL, Manchester United and Newcastle, the festive fixtures, they continue today with two teams that are headed in opposite directions. But when these two get together, we tend to see fireworks, and it's making this an instant classic with both teams to score in the over 2.5 that is actually cashed in 6 of their last 7 meetings. And the Manchester United team total over half a goal in the first half, which has come through in 4 of the last 5 versus Newcastle at Old Trafford. And I have a stay on your toes live play. This is Ipswich Town in Chelsea. Cole Palmer, anytime goal scorer. He's actually scored a goal in 5 of his last 6 games.
I mean, Charles, you know what I like, all right? You can't give me a corners total here. I mean, you give me an over-under on corners. That's how you grab my attention here, Charles. You couldn't find one over-under on corners here to tickle my fancy?
I was definitely looking for one, but in the EPL, for whatever reason, they crank them up to 10.5, 11.5. They're insane because they have so many in that league. So, yeah, I was definitely looking at one for you. So, my apologies, Zaslow. We'll still come through for you, though, sir.
Love a good corners play. Everybody knows that. Raphael, what do you like here tonight? Come on.
We're going for 7-point teaser for tonight's game. We're going to take the Lions at plus 3.5 and the over at 43.5. I just think we're going to see some points scored. But let's face it, the 49ers are 5-14 against the spread in their last 19 games. You know what they're doing right now? They're not practicing. They're not stretching. They're planning for vacation time. So I'm going to take the plus 3.5 on a 7-point teaser. And I think the Lions are 8-3 against the spread on Monday Night Football. So I'll tease it to get the best number, and I think we can cash this 7-point teaser. And then we're going to NBA. Sabonis. They have a new head coach. I think that all the players are probably excited for maybe the new angle that they're going to go. I think the team is going to be much faster. I think we're going to see more points scored by the Kings than what we have seen. So I'm taking his points and rebounds over 32.5. Shop around because some books are opening this up at 33.5 and not move the number. So make sure you get the best number. He has hit this prop bet in 4 out of 6 games. So I think this one's going to go over the total. And then AB's play, the 40.5 in the Iowa game. 2 books have just moved it to 40.5. This one will probably close around 41, maybe even close to 42 because it's the only game that's going on this afternoon. The public wants to watch over games. They don't want to watch an under game.
So how about AB there, getting on it early? It's important for everybody out there in the crew. You don't necessarily, if you wait till the last minute, the last second, it may work out for you, but it may backfire as well, as Raphael is letting you know there. AB, do you worry at all about that Deebo Samuel play today? Because Raphael could be on to something. You got a Niner team tonight, 1-2-3 Cancun. Do you worry at all about Deebo Samuel then?
I mean, a little, because you don't know what you're going to get out of a team this done, right? But I think that the way that franchise is structured, the way that they're organized, they'll finish the year. I actually think the Lions might be in trouble tonight. I think the 49ers, they could win this game outright, and it wouldn't surprise me.
Well, you got a really unique situation tonight with Monday Night Football, which we'll get to, of course, coming up. We also have our Monday mishaps. You never want to miss Monday mishaps, all right? Things happen to us over the weekend. And, of course, everybody part of the crew, if you got some Monday mishaps, you share with us. AB, of course, he reads your messages. We share on, during the show as well. So if you got some Monday mishaps, don't be afraid to participate. You throw it right there in the chat. All right. We got a lot coming up here. Like I said, Monday mishaps where we let you know something wacky or something that made us upset from over the weekend. That's coming up. Don't go anywhere. We got more coming up on DTL. All right, and of course, all you guys who hang out with us here on the YouTube channel, we don't take any breaks for you. So, guys, how about this? I was at the Pop-Tarts Bowl over the weekend. And I was in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. I'm based here in South Florida, for those part of the crew who don't know. And I had a whole weekend, all right? We drove up, me and my son, we did a little Zaslow men road trip, all right? We went to WWE SmackDown. We went to Heat at Magic. We went to AEW World's End. And we also went to the Pop-Tarts Bowl and saw the Miami Hurricanes take on Iowa State, which how could you miss all the social media, all that stuff? Pop-Tarts Bowl is fun as hell. I mean, you want to talk about a sponsor leaning into the absurdity of the bowl game, like 5 stars for the Pop-Tarts Bowl. But the big story, guys, and we'll start with you here, AB, Cam Ward. Miami Hurricanes quarterback Cam Ward plays the first half. Canes scored 35 points in the first half. They're ahead, and they wind up losing the game 42-41. They only get a couple field goals in the second half. Cam Ward did not play in the second half, essentially opted out. He's going to be a top pick in the draft. Lots of reaction. People angry with Cam Ward, angry with the state of college football. Where do you stand on that, AB?
I am not mad at Cam Ward whatsoever. All right, look, I get it. It's not the best look. I understand it. An old school thought would be if you start the game, you're going to finish the game, right? I totally get that and don't disagree. It's a bowl game. Players have been sitting out. Man wanted to go get a record. I don't blame him. Like, I think the biggest thing would be communication with the team. As long as everyone knew, like going in, no problem with me. And trust me, this will not affect Cam Ward and his draft stock. This man has a missile on his arm, and he's accurate. He's a hell of a quarterback, man. So no, like I don't have any big deal. Not the best look, I get it, but no.
Raphael, how did it strike you? Real quick, thoughts.
It didn't strike me at all. We knew as odds makers, we knew he wasn't playing the second half, so someone must have leaked that out.
There you go. Charles, we'll get back to you. So Cam Ward, he sits out. People get all kinds of angry. I feel like the anger is a little bit misplaced. We're back on Stadium in 5 seconds. Welcome back, crew, as we are here on a Monday. Get you ready for Monday Night Football tonight here on your sports betting brand of record, of course, Driving the Line. Great to have you a part of the chat. Love when the crew participates. We're going to get to some more picks coming up. If you missed any of our picks, don't worry. I don't know what you're late for. I don't know what else you had going on this morning, but we'll get back to it. We'll make sure that you didn't miss anything. But, of course, it's Monday. Wacky things happen. Let's get to our Monday mishaps. Come on now. So, AB, we'll start out with you. For those who are new to the program here, every Monday mishaps could be something wacky that we noticed over the weekend, could be something that happened to us, could be something that annoyed us, made us angry. AB, your Monday mishap. Go ahead.
The Tennessee Titans are 2-14 against the spread this year. It's the worst in NFL history. All right, now, in real life, they're second overall in the draft standings right now. They would pick second overall here. But they're 2-14 against the spread. Like, I knew this team was going to be bad, but dear God.
You know, it's interesting. You mentioned there, AB, Tennessee right now sits number 2 in the standings. New England is number 1. But if New England finishes number 1, you would think they're going to trade out of that pick. They don't need a quarterback. If you're Tennessee, do you sit back and just take the guy whoever number 1 is doesn't select? Or do you make the phone call to the Patriots and say, yeah, you know what? We want to control our own fate. We want the number 1 pick.
Well, if you want to go get a quarterback, like say you wanted to go get Cam Ward, right? Like say Ward was your guy or Shedeur Sanders, right? Well, you know that New England, they're going to try to trade it, but I don't know if like the number 1 position is there's going to be a lot of teams lining up to do it, right? Like I think this is a year of like, if you want it, hold tight. If somebody does it, pays big for it, fine. You got 2 guys. You want Shedeur or Cam. You know what I mean? I think I would let the market pay instead of myself if I were the GM.
Raphael, Monday mishap. What do you got?
You know what? It's Monday, and I'm so tired of listening to everyone on TV about someone should be an MVP and not named Josh Allen. Tell me who Josh Allen's number 1 receiver is. Tell me Josh Allen's best running back on the team. He is doing numbers with players that we don't even spell or even know of. Yes, There's a whole bunch of people. Lamar Jackson, but look at his players. Joe Burrow, what he did yesterday. Yeah, but look at all his wide receivers. This guy, Allen, has no one to play with, and he's doing numbers that we have not seen. If there's anybody that should get some love, there's a rookie in Las Vegas that's a tight end that did some phenomenal numbers. How about giving him some love instead of telling me Lamar Jackson should be MVP or Jaden Daniels or Joe Burrow? But look at all their talents. Maybe give it to a rookie in Vegas or just give it to Allen, who deserves it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was thinking about this yesterday in regards to Brock Bowers. If you're a fantasy football player, because, this weekend is Fantasy Football Championships, Week 17. Very big deal. And I was thinking about Brock Bowers, where he's probably the number one tight end selected in fantasy football drafts next year. He set a rookie record for yards, which, by the way, Charles, he set the record yesterday. He's over 1,000 yards for the season, Brock Bowers. You got to go back 60 years. Do you know whose record, rookie tight end record it was, Charles, that Brock Bowers broke over 60 years ago? I'm setting you up here, Charles. You know who it was?
The Bears, Mr. Mike Ditka.
How about that? 60. I mean, think about that. We know the game was different back then, 60 years. It was not a passing league, but Mike Ditka, as a rookie tight end, held a record for most yards for over 60 years. That's incredible. Unbelievable. Charles, Monday
it is incredible. Nobody answered. It's incredible. Yes.
Sorry. I thought I was setting Charles up again. I was not clear enough. Charles, Monday mishap. What do you got for us here?
Mine is just going to be in general just how bad these teams have been this year and how difficult it has been to really handicap these games just based off a lot of the coaches' decisions, clock management. We have in teams that fail to, they'll instead of taking points, they'll go for it on fourth down. They'll punt instead of punting in situations. And just like what we saw in the Falcons games, not using timeouts and clock management. So this season has been extremely difficult as far as me. I know the books can't be happy with how a lot of these teams are coming in, just how difficult it has been to handicap these games based off the decision making and just how bad these teams are this season.
Here's my Monday mishap. And guys in the chat, please feel free to throw in your Monday mishaps as well. Love hearing from you. Love the participation. Here's my Monday mishap. I told you guys I was at the Pop-Tarts Bowl this weekend at Camping World Stadium in Orlando. I was there, Zaslow men road trip, also supporting the Miami Hurricanes. Great game, fun game, but all the extracurricular that surrounds the game, the Pop-Tart Bowl, they really leaned into it. And the winner of the game, so they got these Pop-Tarts, these guys dressed as Pop-Tarts and the mascots, 3 different flavors Pop-Tarts. Then they roll out into the middle of the field, guys, a giant toaster. And the winning team all surrounds the toaster. The MVP of the game on Iowa State, he gets to select which flavor the team eats. And that Pop-Tart jumps in the toaster. He then gets cooked. And a real Pop-Tart comes out, cooked and everything, and the team eats it. They take bites. I mean, it's huge. My Monday mishap is, and his teammates booed him, the MVP selected the cinnamon-flavored Pop-Tart. That's the most disgusting flavored Pop-Tart. The cinnamon flavor, he was rightfully booed. The rest of the team knew. The cinnamon. So
what were the other options? What were the other two?
There's frosted strawberry, which is delicious. Everybody knows that. That's what was selected last year, RIP. There's also the frosted with the sprinkles on it. I forget what the other one was, but everybody knows the cinnamon, a little bit gross. So that guy right there, he let his teammates down. They were taking chunks off and they were eating the cinnamon Pop-Tart. Incredible tradition, long-standing tradition of the Pop-Tarts Bowl. I love that bowl. My son had such a good time. He said, can we go to the Pop-Tarts Bowl every year is what he said.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, it's smart, and you nailed it. Like, they lean into it, and they make it fun, dude. And, like, not only one, is it good marketing, but number two, look, we get what these bowl games are, right? Like, yeah, the college football playoff was taken off. I love it. Like, I'm with you. And shout out to that Pop-Tart that sacrificed himself. All right, he knew he had to jump in and take one for the box.
Yep. R.I.P. Oh, finally, before we move on here, that's right. I mean, come on, give it up to the Lord. He would sacrifice himself for Iowa State. That's a good job out of him. Let's hear from the coach. Coach has got a Monday mishap today. Come on.
What's good, everybody? Your boy is back. You think I would miss Monday mishaps? Not for a second. Let's go back to Saturday. The tale of two different mindsets. Cam Ward, disgusting. Oh, he can play to break a record. Which record? None of us can even remember. We're only 2 days removed. But it was important to him. First half looked like a Madden game. I should know. I've been in the damn game for 7 years. Second half, record broken, can't be bothered. Your team's down by 1, a minute to go, and you can't go to your coach and say, hey, put me back in. Let me go to war for my dogs, my teammates, my guys, one last time. Didn't even look like he cared. Didn't even help the quarterback that was in the damn game on that last drive. And then that night, you got Shadir Sanders, Travis Hunter, both potential overall number 1 picks. Both getting their asses handed to them by 30 to BYU. Travis Hunter did not miss a play till late in the game on offense or defense. Shadir Sanders played all the way till the end of the game. Those two dogs I want on my team. Cam Ward, you can have him. That's exactly what's wrong with college players today, except for a few. And a few of those apparently play for the Colorado Buffaloes. Let's go. It's time for a new year right here at DTL. I'll see you guys tonight.
Wow, Coach is very down on Cam Ward. All right, T and I may have to have a talk about that later. Guys?
After we just praised him.
Coach, we do not see eye to eye there. That's okay, though. Let's get to educate and entertain, guys. So yesterday, guys, with the Philadelphia Eagles beating the Cowboys 41-7, there's a couple big stories there. Number one, the Eagles are the first team in the NFC to clinch the division. They are your NFC East champions. But also, Saquon Barkley becomes the 9th player in NFL history to rush for over 2,000 yards. He now finds himself 101 yards away from breaking Eric Dickerson's all-time record. But AB, next week's game is inconsequential now for the Eagles. Do you play Saquon Barkley?
Hell yes, 100%. Now, if there's a reason why he doesn't want to privately, it's his call, right? I totally get it. But this is a record that hasn't, like, it's been up for 40 years. Now, I get it. The amount of games played are different. You want to asterisk. Dude, you have to. Like, you have to. Like, we might not see this again for 40 years. Hell yeah, I'm playing.
Raphael, do you play Saquon?
It's his decision. I say Saquon wants to play, you play him. And if I'm Saquon, maybe you're like, hey, you know what? Maybe I don't want to break Eric Dickerson's record. But what Dickerson said over the weekend, I'm putting on my pads if I'm Saquon, and I'm maybe doubling that. Maybe I'll rush for 200 yards because Dickerson had no praise for him, and he did not want his record broke. So if I'm Saquon, put the helmet on and break it.
And also, you got some extra juice to it, too, that the final game is against Saquon Barkley's former club. It'd be really apropos if the game was in MetLife. It's not. It's in Philadelphia, but it is against the Giants. Charles, do you expect Saquon to play?
I would hope he does. I would expect him to. I would at least a half go out there the first half and see if he can, what he has by halftime, and then kind of go from there. But I'm sure Sirianni will want to see him break the record, even though he'll be politically correct and say all the right things throughout the week as far as what comes as injuries, everything else. But I would expect him to at least play the first half, see where he's at, and then go from there.
I'll tell you what, if he only plays half the game, gets the record, and sits out, you're going to have a video from Coach. He's going to be very upset. You don't start the game, get a record, and then sit out the second half of the game. And the fact of the matter is, Week 18, that game for the Eagles has just about as much consequence to it as the Pop-Tarts Bowl, AB.
So, okay, first off, that was hilarious. All right, I wasn't even thinking about that. You nailed it on that. Number two, like, what if you get like 101 yards, 102, then pull them? Because it's like, dude, you could get a negative rush that can bring you behind. Like, I'm wild to see that one.
Yeah, you definitely got to do that. So really interesting scenario. I would imagine we're going to know either today or tomorrow. You'll hear from Nick Sirianni, so this does not drag on throughout the week, wondering and questions about if Saquon Barkley is going to play. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be back on Stadium after this. All right, for all you guys that hang out with us on the YouTube page, we love that. So also over the weekend, you may have noticed at one point, the Buffalo Bills beat the Jets 41-14. At one point in the game, it was 40-0. All right, 40-14, excuse me. At one point in the game, it was 40-0. And finally, Aaron Rodgers was pulled from the game early in the fourth quarter. Give this a listen, guys. Here's Aaron Rodgers after the game on the decision to be benched and how it came about.
What was the conversation like with Jeff when he took you out of the game? What were your thoughts on that?
I mean, it was 33-0. We were sitting there, and I said at some point, probably go to Tyrod here, huh? And then the next play, they threw a screen for a touchdown, so it's 40-0.
Guys, I mean, if you want leadership, that's the picture of it right there. Hey, it's 33-0. I think I'm done today, guys. Put in Tyrod, AB.
Yeah, so, okay, first off, Rodgers looks like a villain in that jacket. Number two, if you roll that video back again at the bottom, I love that it's sponsored by a vacation spot, the U.S. Virgin Islands. All right, why would the Virgin Islands be sponsoring Jets games other than you want to get the hell out of here? Like, yeah, look, man, this season's been a disaster. I just love that the Virgin Islands are sponsoring Jets postgame.
Raphael, you can't possibly make a case for Aaron. Like, how does a sane person look at this situation and bring Aaron Rodgers back next year?
I agree. And this is something interesting. I'd rather watch a Netflix special of everything that happens for the Jets organization starting today, because I would love to see the players don't want him back. At least some of the players don't want him back. So give me the Netflix special of today and for the rest of the summer, because I would love to see the backstabbing and the back talking in the locker room about Aaron Rodgers, but I wouldn't bring him back.
15 seconds, Charles. Is this it for Rodgers? Are we watching him play his last game of his career next week?
If he even plays the last game, they might just go to Tyrod for the final game.
Yeah, I think it's a very real scenario where we're watching Aaron Rodgers' final game of his career next week in Week 18. We're back on Stadium in 5 seconds. Yes. Good to have you guys aboard here on Stadium. DTL on a Monday. Want to make sure, of course, everybody knows every weekday, early afternoon, DTL, the podcast drops. Get to all kinds of extra topics that maybe we didn't have time to hit on the regular DTL daily show. Now, as we bring our pals back here on screen, Monday Night Football tonight, the final Monday Night Football regular season matchup. There's no Monday Night Football next week. And then you do have wild card round Monday Night Football. But tonight, the final regular season Monday Night Football game, the Detroit Lions are at the San Francisco 49ers. Lions are giving 3 points. 49ers money line plus 150. The total, as you see right there, is 50.5. And how about this, AB? For the first time this season, because the Detroit Lions have, the conversation has been this is the best team in the NFL all season long. They've been sitting atop the NFC. For the very first time now, you go online, let's say ESPN.com. You click on the NFC standings, and the Minnesota Vikings sit first place in the NFC, while the Detroit Lions are fifth in the NFC. It's a little bit jarring, AB, to see that when we've been talking about Detroit being the best team in the league.
I know. Look, producer man, I don't mean to throw you a curveball, but we have the graphic. If you look at the NFC and throw it up whatever you want, but you're right. It's crazy to look at it because it's changed. So look at that. All right.
It's weird.
Yeah. Detroit's all the way down to 5. Green Bay's down to 7 right now. Here's the interesting thing. Okay. So on the game, all right, the Lions, do they play the Vikings next week?
Yeah. Oh, it's for all the marbles. Yep.
This is, give me the 49ers. This is a brutal spot for Detroit before playing Minnesota. You've got to play a physical team. Yes, we understand that San Francisco has had problems, but they score points. And you've got a quarterback in San Francisco who is literally playing for if he's going to get rich or not in his life. He's playing for generational money in a contract. He's going to be going. Debo's going to be going. Juwan Jennings is a dog. I can assure you he's going, right? this is a real game for them, man. And it's all the way on the road. It's Monday night. Dude, I do not like this spot for Detroit at all. Give me San Francisco +3.
So to make sure everybody is clear and aware of the situation tonight, this is a very rare situation where week 17 tonight has no meaning for the Detroit Lions. It actually has no meaning for both teams, but it has no meaning for the Detroit Lions, while next week 18 is for everything. All right. It doesn't matter if the Lions win tonight or lose. Next week, week 18, Minnesota at Detroit is for not just the NFC North Championship. It's for first place, a bye, and home field throughout the NFC playoffs between Detroit and Minnesota. But Raphael, Dan Campbell was asked about this a few days ago, and he said, it doesn't matter. We're going about our business. We're going to play this game the way we normally do. Do you expect that to actually be the case tonight?
I actually do. This game reminds me of yesterday's game of Tampa Bay, knowing that Atlanta was going to sit around and watch that game and vice versa. And then look what Tampa Bay, they took care of business. Granted, I know they were at home and they played a weaker team, but if you're the Lions, you had to watch that game, the Vikings and Green Bay. You want to come out strong. You want to come out. That's why it wouldn't shock me if the Lions win this game pretty easily. That's why the books moved it to 3.5. Even a money line is -205. A money line at -3.5 should be -180, maybe -185. So the public is betting the money line too. I expect that. I think the Lions come out strong.
Charles, how does it change your thinking on a game like tonight where it doesn't mean anything standings-wise for either team? How does someone who's looking to play the game go into tonight with a strategy?
I always like the home dog catching 3 or more. The 49ers will be playing for pride, and the Lions, this could be a look-ahead spot, knowing it's for all the marbles next weekend. The Vikings will be in a revenge spot, so they'll definitely be motivated for this Lions team coming in. But I think this is the ultimate look-ahead spot, even though the Lions should have motivation from last year's playoffs. But I'm liking the 49ers catching the 3 in what should be a higher scoring game.
It's interesting, right, AB? Because, conventional wisdom would tell you, all right, if you're not going to sit your guys for the meaningless game, maybe just play them the first half. Maybe Jared Goff doesn't come out in the third quarter, but that kind of goes against everything Dan Campbell's about with this Detroit Lion team.
Yeah. Like that's why, I don't think there'll be any sitting at all. Like, you're right. Like, that's not Dan Campbell. Like, say what you will, that's not his MO. They're going to go out and play. It's going to be a game for sure. But, yeah, man, like it's a weird middle spot for them.
All right, producer man, let's get to some over-under totals here for Monday Night Football. Let's get to some prop action. Let's figure out how we're going to make that money. Daddy's got to pay the mortgage somehow. All right, let's look at the quarterback situation. We start with Detroit and Jared Goff. AB, we'll start with you. 251.5 yards. We going over or under for the Detroit quarterback?
Over. You can throw on this defense. Yeah, I'm going over.
Raphael.
Agreed. There's holes in that defense in San Francisco. I take the over 251.5.
What about you, Charles?
Riding with the over, I think we see a lot of passing yards in this one.
I mean, look, Jared Goff, it's weird, right? Where we talk Lamar Jackson, we talk Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, and the Lions are 13-2. Goff is having a career-type season. It's strange that we don't. I'll tell you, AB, where I think Jared Goff left the MVP conversation. When they had the game earlier this year, and he threw 5 interceptions, and they won the game.
Yep.
If they lost the game, that would have helped his case. But since he threw the 5 interceptions, and they showed they could still win, that they are that good of an all-around team, that's when I think Jared Goff left the MVP conversation.
It's a great point. You're exactly right. And their MO really is Jared Goff not having a big game. That's when they're at their best, right? When he beat the Titans and threw for like 90 yards. You know what I mean? Like, I 100% with you. That's a great point. You're exactly right.
Brock Purdy, 254.5 yards, AB. Where do we stand?
This is going to come down to, are the running backs rushing the ball or are these screen pass yards? Because I don't think they'll throw deep a whole lot. I'm going to go under, but it could be close.
It's an interesting point, Raphael, that AB makes, that you got Brock Purdy going out there, still essentially playing for a contract. How does that affect tonight?
Yeah, it's all going to depend on yak yards on this one. So, and I think it's going to be low. So I think it's going to be 254 under.
How about you, Charles?
I like the over against this banged up Lions defense.
All right. So there you go. Most of us like both quarterbacks going over. What else we got next, producer man? Let's look at the running backs. Jahmyr Gibbs on Detroit side. Big number, 94.5. We know David Montgomery, he's done. So Jahmyr Gibbs, he's the man. Are you going over here, AB?
No, because he's going to do it in the air as well. I would go over on rushing and receiving, but pure rushing, 94.5. No, going under.
You're shaking your head there, Raphael. You agree with AB?
Yeah, under and rushing, but over on rushing and receiving yards. I think it's 128.5, and he had a nice game with in the air his last game.
How about you, Charles?
I also like the over, but like the combos and even like his receivings.
Isaac Guerrero on Kansas City side, 63.5, AB.
I'm going to go under just because there could be short passing game is de facto run game. And even when they're down to third and fourth string, they still bring in 3, 4, 5, 6 different dudes that are running the football. Debo will run the football. I'm going to go under here. Just too many.
How about you, Raphael?
I'm going under because they could be playing from depth behind, and my cards have already been shown. I like the Lions tonight.
Charles?
Under, and that's a good point. I would also look at Debo's rushing yards in this one.
All right, so there you go for the running backs on both sides. Let's take a look at the wide receivers. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 72.5 is the number right now. Get at it, AB.
Love it. I'll take the over 72.5, even though there's a lot of weapons. Goff will look deep. He'll find him. Yeah, I'll take the over here.
How about you, Raphael?
Yak yards, and he's going to get deep not once, not twice, but 3 times. They're going to throw deep on him.
Go ahead, Charles.
Over. I had first recorded this one at 70.5, 72.5. Also like his receptions.
Look at you getting on it early. Excellent job, Juwan Jennings. AB, go ahead. 64.5 is the number we're looking at.
Love it. Love Juwan over this number. Also love him over in his receptions number. This is a Juwan Jennings game. 100%. The quarterback's
Raphael?
best friend. Yeah.
Yeah, give me over at 64.5, and someone in an email already put him on as their first touchdown that I tried to get early, but thanks, guys.
And how about you, Charles?
Juwan over, that dog's going to eat tonight.
Okay, there you go. So some prop plays for everyone, part of the crew, to take notice at for tonight's Monday Night Football contest as Week 17 wraps up with the Lions at 49ers. And again, anything that you're looking to play, it's important to know. The 49ers, they got a couple things you got to consider. Number one, Brock Purdy. He's still playing for a contract. Game certainly means a lot for him. And we're talking draft position for the Niners. That's the only thing that's on the line here. On Detroit's side of things, they literally have nothing to play for. They're trying to play 60 minutes of injury-free, healthy football because even if they lose and remain in the number 5 spot in the NFC, it doesn't matter. Next week's home game against the Minnesota Vikings, a team they've already beaten this year, is going to be for first place in the NFC, home field advantage. AB, how important is it, do you believe, for Detroit? And again, they control their own destiny. How important is it for Detroit to have all the home games in Detroit at Ford Field?
It certainly helps. Playing at home helps, right? Like, yeah, I like if they could get that 100%. And I'll say this on the game tonight, dude, you have 2 of the best teams in the NFL in regards to time of possession. So what does that mean? More plays, all right, successfully in a row for each team. Short passing game. Look at pass attempts and completions tonight. Both of those will be solid.
You know what's also interesting and weird, Raphael? We've been talking about Detroit all season long. Best team in the league. If they don't win next week against the Vikings, who looked great yesterday against Green Bay, if they don't win next week against the Vikings, the Lions go from best team in the league all year long to not having a single home game in the playoffs.
It's so weird, and probably wouldn't they be labeled as some disappointing team of the NFL because we talked so much praise for them for 18 weeks and no praise with SKOL, who looked good last night.
If you could ever have a disappointing regular season, winning 13 or maybe 14 games, yeah, the Detroit Lions, if they lose next week and they don't have a single home game in this year's playoffs, I would say that that qualifies for pretty unlucky, but also pretty disappointing. Don't go anywhere. Guys, we're coming back on Stadium after this break. So for everybody who hangs out with us on the YouTube channel, you don't take a break. We don't take a break. If you're just tuning in now, we'll get back to our picks, which we deliver at the top of the show every morning. So this way you didn't miss out on anything. But the Minnesota Vikings, they're 14-2 right now. They're number one in the NFC. If they win next week in Detroit, the Super Bowl, the NFC goes through Minnesota. Incredible. Are we past the Sam Darnold conversation? What do you do, Darnold, McCarthy? You saw the reaction, AB, after they won that game yesterday. The way the teammates welcomed Darnold into the locker room. They were going nuts for their quarterback. Are we past the conversation about Sam Darnold's future with Minnesota?
No, and keep him. I mean, like, Sam Darnold's smart enough that he won't go and break the bank, right, and just bust the team up, because you get paid by everybody kind of getting paid. He's smart enough to take a little discount here. Yeah, of course. You keep this going until it doesn't. It's worth the money, the price of admission.
Raphael, what about you? I would imagine they franchise him. This way they're in total control of the situation, and you could still work out a contract even if you franchise him.
Yeah, put a franchise tag and look at the team in your division, how they handle quarterbacks. The Green Bay Packers. I think if you're the Vikings, do the same thing as Green Bay does year after year. But am I the only one that was looking for JJ's reaction when Sam Darnold came in and they were spraying him water? I was trying to see what he looked like when they were doing that.
Charles, what do you think winds up happening there with Darnold? Is it a no-brainer? You got to keep him?
No brainer. They have to keep him. I know I didn't have much faith in him, but this is what the Jets envisioned when they drafted him, and he's finally panning out. Yeah, no brainer. Have to keep him. Plus, we don't know what the health of JJ is going to be like to start next season.
I think you make some type of team-friendly contract for Darnold, or a contract that works for both guys. Essentially what you've seen with a lot of these guys, where the first 2 years of the big money deal are guaranteed, and then they have options in a couple years from now with J.J. McCarthy. You never wind up having a rookie quarterback, a first-round quarterback, sit and wait for a couple of years, and then when he gets his opportunity, you never wind up saying, wow, huge mistake that we didn't play him right away. No, you're like, okay, good. The waiting and the maturation, it wound up benefiting him. I think you keep both guys and you just push McCarthy. You kick that can a little bit down the road. We're back on Stadium in 5 seconds. All right, y'all, as we get set for Monday Night Football tonight, Lions at 49ers. Want to make sure everybody knows we got DTL the podcast. Drops every weekday, early afternoon, where your favorite hosts and personalities will give you a little bit more, a little bit extra than what you normally get here as well. We'll get to our crew play of the day and all of that good stuff. But first, if you missed the early portion of the show, we don't want you to have to miss anything. Let's get to the Whiparound. Yes, there we go. Want to make sure you don't miss anything, all right? I don't know where you were the first few minutes of the show that you originally missed our picks. We're trying to help you guys. AB, what do you got today?
Fun one here, the Music City Bowl, Iowa, Missouri, over 40. Go ahead and take that now. That number is going to climb. Second, Deebo Samuel tonight for the 49ers, over 4.5 receptions at minus 105. Some books, it's positive money, plus 105. Yeah, take that one for sure.
Charles, what do you like here in the footy?
EPL action, Manchester United and Newcastle. We don't have any corners, but we do have a classic. Both teams to score an over 2.5 spot that's cashed in 6 of the last 7 at Old Trafford. And Man United first half team total over half a goal that has come through in 4 of the last 5 at home versus Newcastle. And lastly, a stay on your toes live play, EPL Ipswich Town and Chelsea. Cole Palmer, anytime goal scorer who has 5 goals in his last 6 games.
And how about you, Raphael?
We're going for 7-point tees on tonight's game. Giving the Lions plus 3.5 and over 43.5 minus 140. I just think the 49ers are playing their vacations, and the 49ers are 5-14 against the spread of their last 19 games. And then we're going to NBA. Give me this a bonus for the Sacramento Kings, over 32.5 points in rebounds, minus 3 nickels. He's hit this prop 4 out of 6 games. I know he's been struggling, but new head coach means new points and a lot of goal scoring tonight.
All right, that's a good little nugget right there. Kings, trash organization. They fired Mike Brown a few days ago. Very, very soft. And as Raphael shows that, I mean, look, coach is mean. He mean to the players. Very tough. And in the NBA, you always have to make sure that your star players are happy. It's a very big deal in the NBA. if your star players are not happy, you're in very, very big trouble. So Bush League move. They fired Mike Brown, who was coach of the year 2 years ago for a garbage franchise. Anyway, I don't care about the Kings. I mean, who the hell cares? All right. So before we move on here, though, tomorrow night, I'm not going to be with you guys tomorrow. So I got to get some thoughts because AB tickled my fancy a little bit here with the Music City Bowl. But tomorrow night, we have quarterfinals, college football playoff. That's right. Tomorrow night, the 4 games get started. We got 1 tomorrow night, and then you got 3 games, of course, that are on Wednesday, a triple header of action. But tomorrow night, everything gets going with Boise State and Penn State. AB, why don't you give me some thoughts here? It's one of 2 games that are double-digit favorites, and the dogs in both those games are the higher seed. In this instance, it's Boise State tomorrow night.
Yeah, look, I'll tell you this. You can give me the under 53 in this game. I think Penn State's going to do everything they can to stop the run and just keep the ball, time of possession in their hands, because if Ashton can't run it because they don't have it, ain't nothing they could do. I like the under in this game. 11's a lot of points, especially for Penn State. Yeah, I'll roll the under on this one.
What about you, Raphael? What do you like tomorrow night?
Boise. I just think they feel disrespected being a double-digit dog in this game. I think that we're going to see both big double-digit dogs covering. Maybe not winning, but I think covering. I like Boise State. Keep an eye out for Boise State's not 1 but 2 tight ends in this game.
How about you, Raphael? You on the same page as the guys there?
I'm going to go with I like Penn State. They're my sneaker team in this playoffs. I think that they could really go far, and I would kind of lean with the under. I think that correlates Penn State and the under.
You know, AB, you see right there, you got 2 of the games are huge numbers. The other 2 games, 1, 2.5. I mean, really low numbers. But the 2 games where you have the big numbers, both feature the dogs are the higher seed, and it's the teams that got the automatic bye for winning the Mountain West and the Big 12 championship, respectively. I didn't have an issue with the seeding and the way that they go about it, where you get the automatic buys. I think winning your conference should count for something. I think it should be important. But when we saw the lines, when the quarterfinals were set, and the 2 dogs, double-digit dogs, are the teams that got to skip the line and get the bye, that part bothered me. I feel like we skipped a step where we went from teams like Boise and Arizona State in this instance, from not being able to compete for a national championship, we skipped all the way over to you also get a bye, when there should have been a stop in the middle, which was, okay, you qualify for the playoffs.
Yeah. I'm with you, and I think they'll fix this. Like they'll iron it out, right? Like I give them some leeway. It's the first time we've done it. There's going to be some things that you don't notice until you do it. The interesting part for me is this: I don't know how valuable a bye is, and let me tell you why. Because number one, you haven't played in a month now. Number 2, what do you get for that? A road game. You don't get to play at home. Like, you're going on the road as well. Texas got to play at home. Penn State got to play at home. Notre Dame played at home, right? Like, they got a little, competition at home, got some feel for it, and it's a normal work week. Georgia's got a backup quarterback. He played a month. I'm not saying Georgia gave him the game. I'm just using that as an example. Oregon hadn't played in a month. Ohio State just whooped Tennessee. And it's like, okay, all right. Yeah, we got our feet under us. That part I'm fascinated with. Is the bye actually beneficial, or does it hurt you?
Tomorrow on DTL, we'll obviously get more into the college football playoff quarterfinals as that gets going tomorrow night with Penn State and Boise State. That is the Fiesta Bowl. All right, let's get to Raphael's stat of the day. What nugget do you have for us today, Raphael?
No, he didn't.
We're sticking with the bowl games, and I can't believe how bad the ACC is. The ACC is 0-10 against the spread in bowl games this season, and they still have 3 more games to play, and I can see them losing all 3 of those games. Whew, bad ACC.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what else. I mean, I was at the Pop-Tarts Bowl, which, of course, the Hurricanes lost 42-41 to a Big 12 runner-up, Iowa State. The Hurricanes, speaking of the ACC, I believe it's 12 out of 13 bowl games they've lost. 12 of their last 13 bowl games. Incredible. And, of course, the ACC, terrible showing. We don't have any ACC teams left in the college football playoff either. So there you go. All right. AB, very important. Crew play of the day. What has the crew decided upon? How are we going to cash a ticket tonight?
Yep, the crew has gone overwhelmingly with the Lions -3. They are big on Detroit tonight on the road. So, yeah, we'll see. You know what? The crew's won a lot of picks here. So, we'll see. We'll roll with them. And real quick, yeah, John Eccles in the chat says, AB, Notre Dame, Georgia over 44. Absolutely. We played that, 4 or 5 days ago? That total's already gone up. It's 45. It's going to go to 46. Everybody that got in on 44, well done.
Probably 47.
I'll tell you, I love that Notre Dame Georgia game. I love that it's the final game too. That's the main event. You give me the main portion last, all right? Whet my appetite leading up to the fourth game. I love that that's the final game. To me, it's the most intriguing game, Notre Dame and Georgia. So for all of us guys how about all the football last week? Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, tonight. Make sure you let the wives know, all right? They think that after tonight, they get a break until next week. There's no break. You got football tomorrow night with the college football. You got 3 games on Wednesday. We're getting after it the entire weekend. Raphael, make sure your wife knows, all right? Football, not family time. Football this week. Make sure she knows.
She doesn't see me till April after March Madness.
All right, just making sure. AB, closing thoughts here heading into tonight's final Monday Night Football regular season game.
Yeah, there are a lot of players playing for contracts and incentives. Don't ever forget that. There's always something for NFL players to be playing for. A lot of them playing for resume tape, all right, to play on another team. The Titans are looking for a quarterback right now. Somebody wants to put up a couple nice games. You can make a lot of money in free agency.
Closing thoughts, Raphael. Go ahead.
Should be an entertaining game. I just think the Lions are going to beat the Lions tonight and put a butt whooping on San Francisco.
Charles, you're up. Closing thoughts.
I think Shanahan's going to have this team motivated. Don't be surprised if they win straight up in a high-scoring game.
Make sure you guys check out DTL, the podcast coming up. It'll drop early in the afternoon. We'll talk to you again tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. This has been Driving the Line.